Welcome back to the Peter H channel. So like the crank cases are split on the DT125R, and so like what next? Well, the first thing, I'm going to remove the crankshaft from the left hand case, and of course ideally you'd have the Yamaha crankshaft splitter tool, but I don't have one, so I'm going to use a soft face mallet, and I'm going to get right into that. I've set the left hand crankcase with the crankshaft still in on two pieces of similar sized wood, actually offcuts from this bench project. Now I put a bit of gaffer tape over the crank. I did that earlier because I was fed up with hearing it clank against the part of the casing, so I just don't like hearing things clank. Bought myself a new tool. It's a soft face mallet. I'm going to try the plastic end first. So really, I mean, I've used a splitter tool before, and it's not unheard of for the bearing to come out with the crank. So I think the hammer might be the best option. Now, spot a deliberate mistake. I've really got to refit the rotor nut to make this more safe on the threads there. So of course you couldn't see that the rotor nut wasn't fitted earlier, but it's fitted now. I'm going to support the crank from the bottom. It's got quite a few inches to go, and I mean it's quite a press fit in there. So I'm expecting it to take a fair few hits. I'm not going to lay into it like a jackhammer. Well, it's definitely moving, and I'm just going to, it's wobbling quite a lot now, probably pull it out. Yeah, it's not even marked the front of the, let's try this side. Darling. never. I thought it had come out by now. Don't know what to do about me here. Turn it around a bit, I suppose. Goodness gracious me. Ain't got no juice. Not that that's going to make a flipping cod boil. You never know though. Might just be sticking. The other one was rusty, so I mean it might have rusted in there for all I know. Come on, darling, this is Sunday. My neighbours are going to skin me alive. Huh? Tap, 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 tap. What's he like? That's no way to fix a motor. Sorry about that, everyone. Blooming echoing around the neighbourhood this is. I might put this down on the floor so it don't reverberate through this wooden bench. I'm going to do that actually. So after hours of hitting it with a hammer, I resorted to the splitter tool, which I've put in the stator holes, and didn't use the third one. I just put it across the two, which is the strongest part of the engine, and that's wound it out. But I expect that the bearing came with it, and so if the bearing didn't come with it, which it did, which is always a hassle really, because now the bearing seat has been stretched, you know, it's going to be a hassle. But I mean, that thing had rusted on there, you know, that has rusted on there good, and hitting it with a hammer all day long, the bearing was likely to come out with it anyway. So, you know, just don't like necessarily taking it out with the bearing still in it, but you never know, might be lucky. So now the crankshaft is out of the left hand case, I can start having a look at the case itself, and more on that stuck bush. Someone's actually tried to drill that out and it's deflected off the casting into the case itself. The engine still runs and there's no water leaks. I've had the water system going, and this is it. I've tried knocking it with a punch at the moment, but I don't know whether someone's put it in like that or tried to get it out like that. But that bush and the O-rings, I think that's what it is. It's supposed to be in between two engine mounts, and this is all that remains of the engine mounts. There's a washer missing from here. Well, that's the top mount. This is the lower of the mounts. So really, well, this has got to come out, and there's several ways. I'm going to try to draw it out with a socket, because there's plenty of room to get a socket in there without interfering with the mating face. And this is the mating face, and it seems quite clear. Discoloration there is interesting. That's it's from the heating water coolant system. So I'm going to put a socket in there and try and draw it through. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for that, because I think whoever did that probably tried that. But the other way is I've got a diamond burr and I'll just erode it until it falls out.